Oh yeah, my goodness.
Shall I start? Are these dogs going to be a problem?
Just to me. Just don't look at them. But they won't howl or anything like that.
All right. I'm going to just talk a little bit about raga, first of all. It's pretty hard to explain because there are no words for it. But each raga has some qualities. The word raga refers to color, but it's really not the color of music. In reality, it's the color of the feeling that the music provokes inside of you, which is kind of strange for sure. But I think of it as different ragas are different flavors because I eat. But each raga has a rising scale and a falling scale. They don't have to be the same. There's 7 notes, the same notes as in the West. They call it a sapta, 7. We call it an octave because we count the first one twice. And so there's a rising scale and a falling scale. The scale needs at least 5 notes and to have as many as 7. So there's 5, 6, and 7 note scales. The rising and the falling scale don't have to be the same. They can be really different. So you have a lot of ragas that have 5 notes going up and 7 notes coming down. 6 up and 6 down would be all right. The raga I'm going to show right now is a pentatonic raga. It has 5 notes going up and 5 notes going down, and they're the same ones. So it's not very hard to understand when they're different notes, and sometimes it's a little confusing when you're just starting out. This raga is called Bhupali. Well, of course, there's a town, Bhopal, where they had a horrible industrial accident, poisoned how many thousands and thousands of people. So this raga, Bhupali, essentially is named after that city. The music has nothing to do with the city. Here's the notes. 5 notes going up, and 5 notes going down, the same notes.
That was 6 notes.
Well, we're not counting the first note twice.
Okay.
This is the first note. And here it is here. They're the same note, only an octave apart.
Okay.
So that's the difference between the way they count saptak and we count octave. Okay. Now, one thing about raga music is the notes are just stopping places on a continuum of sound. So that here's sa, that's a continuum of sound. And the notes just are places where you stop. And each of these ragas has a chalan. Chalan is the movement of the notes. You'd be very bored if I just went up and down and up and down and up and down like that. So certain places in the raga are stopping places. Certain phrases are part of the raga. In this raga, Bhupali, if you hear this, just hearing that, if I hear this, right away I'm thinking of Bhupali. So, now the raga comes in 2 parts. The first part is called alap. And in the alap there's no tabla. And there's no rhythm. In this music, a rhythm is a rhythm cycle. It's called a tala. The most common one is 16 beats. It just means repeating 16 beats over and over. And then there are compositions composed for sarod and for vocal and for sitar or whatever in these 16 beats. It could be a different tala. It could be 10 beats or 12. There's various talas. But we usually stick in 16 beats. Now, that would be the second part of the raga. The second part is when the tabla comes in and there's a composition. He's going to do that. He's going to play a composition, and then the tabla will be able to play. When the composition is playing, the tabla is free to improvise. And then he has to keep the time, and the other guy's free to improvise. So somebody's minding the store. Now the first part of the raga is the alap, and like I say, there's no rhythm. There's kind of you have to have an internal pulse on this thing, but there's no rhythm, there's no beat or anything, and you just going to show the notes. I'll do a little bit of alap so you can see. This is in Bhupali. It's like home base. I'm home. Thank you. Going downwards, all the way down to here, and I went way up here too, just to introduce and show the various notes in this raga. And when that's done, it goes to the next part of the alap, and that's called jor. And jor are gumaks. Gumaks are particular slides. So here's the jor. For a while, and then finally this hand starts acting. And some rhythmics come into it. And then at the end of the jala, it goes fast. So it takes it through all these technical applications, and then it's time for the composition. So, any questions? I'll be glad to answer.
If they had done that at that Ravi Shankar concert, more people would have stayed.
Well, I always did. I've played hundreds and hundreds of concerts, and I've always wanted to explain first, because I know that if you listen to Chinese people speaking and you don't speak Chinese, it's a sing-song language. You don't know anything. If you listen to a raga, it's a sing-song language. You don't know anything. But if you know that everything that's being done there is done for a purpose and is showing something, in fact, you never should be doing something if you're not showing something. And so that's a whole different way to look at it. What is he showing? Why is he doing it that way? Is there another way to do it? A lot of questions pop up.
It's amazing. Totally so appreciate this.
Well, it's really, to me, it's a really great art. And since you're all here, I'll spend 5 minutes here on the tabla. Because most people, they have no idea. I've just been talking to people about tabla lately. And they think, well, they don't even know it's a drum. There's one here for the right hand. It's called the tabla. And the left hand is the baya. And like the piano is actually the piano forte. Because remember, the harpsichord only got 1 degree of volume when you press the key. And on the piano, you press harder, it's louder, and you press less, it's not. So it's called the loud soft. And so this is called the tabla. It really should be called the baya tabla, because this is the baya here. So it's been shortened just like piano. And there's all these different sounds that come out of this. And they all have names. That's na, te, ta, te, ye. How about daddy, daddy, bini, bina, dene, gene. All these different things are there, and the words are put together into compositions. And so a tabla player is somebody who knows very well from memory thousands of compositions. And I know I do. And so these compositions are in different rhythm cycles. The 16 beat is the most common, and it goes like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And there's words for this too. Da, din, din, da, din, din, da, din, din, da, din, din. And you can count 16 on the creases of your fingers in the tip. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 1. And you can, and these, the compositions are built into the cycle, so you can say them along with this. This da din dina, that's just keeping the time, but you can play all kinds of compositions. Here's one. Dene taka dene taka taka dene naka tete gere naka dene taka tete kata kere naka dene kere taka kere drula kata dage tete garan dage taka dene 1, 2, 3, 4. And so I came right back to the first beat, and that's a requirement. See, so in this game, the first beat is like a bullseye that you're throwing darts at, and you have to land right on it. And the audience, when they're knowledgeable, which is in India, they all know this. And so when they see you try something that is going to have to be a long way and then land on the first beat, when it lands on there, you can hear the people in the audience saying, "Ha!" Because there's tension created and tension released. And that is the basis of all dramatic art. This is why Ravi Shankar sounds so boring to me, because he never releases the tension. He hardly even creates it. And he was so famous, and unfortunately, during that time, the greatest sitar player in the history of India was alive and giving concerts. And he was never mentioned. They did everything they could to make sure you never knew about him. And I had to start the Sarodia Society so we could get visas and put on concerts for the better musicians, who these other musicians who were famous were doing everything to stop anybody from knowing anything about them. They wouldn't even get visas like that. It was incredible how bad it was. It was a lot of trouble to start the Sarodia Society. It's a non-profit in California. Okay, now